Welcome back to Conference USA Media Days, Day 2. Today we take a look at the teams from the East. I'm Ron Thulin. We'll be taking you through all 7 teams today, all 7 coaches, plus 2 players from each team. We're going to start things out with Charlotte, their head coach, Brad Lambert. Brad, good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see you, Ron. You doing okay?
I'm doing great. Also joining us today, Tyreek Harris, the defensive end, All-Conference USA freshman team back in 2016. Moved up from linebacker to defensive end. Now he's linebacker, DL combination. Good to have you here today.
Thank you.
Also offensive lineman Cameron Clark. He was the 2017 offensive MVP for Charlotte and the only person so far in 2 days that asked me what camera should he look at. I'm impressed.
Yes,
I'm very impressed. Brad, I want to start with you. We've known each other a while. Was it the type of thing at the end of last year you had to stop and take a look at everything?
Yeah, it was one of those years, you know, when you don't succeed on the field like you expect to, then you look at all aspects, and you don't want to stay the same. So we made some changes and made some changes in really all facets of our program. And heading into 2018, this is our new football team since January, and so we wanted to make sure that we get everything the way we want it going into this season.
Now you got 2 new coordinators, both on the offensive side and defensive side. Let's start with offense with Shane Montgomery. What are we going to see as far as changes in the offense this year?
Well, I think Shane's brought to us, we'll have great balance. You know, I've always wanted that where we're really efficient throwing the ball. We have the ability to run the ball. You know, anything you do in life, you have to have great balance, and I wanted great balance on offense. And so I want to be a little bit more pro style. So he's taken us in that direction. And at Youngstown for many years, they wanted a high level and always had good balance with their running game, their throwing game. So really impressed with Shane. He's done a good job since coming in.
Or you look at you returning 8 starters, including your leading scorer, Hassan Klue, leading rusher, Benny LeMay. Hassan Klue, give us the status on him because you've created some competition now at that quarterback spot. Yeah,
we're trying to create competition at every position, and quarterback's one of them. We need to play better at quarterback. We talked to Hassan after the season about that, and so Evan Sheriffs has come in. Chris Reynolds is on our football team. We signed a guy. So, we've got to create competition at that position. But Hassan brings a ton of athleticism to our football team, and he's one of the best men walking in our building. So we have to make sure we keep him involved, and he may, in fact, win the job in August. He's kind of the leader just because he's played it for 2 years.
Now, are the running backs going to be more involved in the passing game this year?
Yeah, a little bit. We like Ben LeMay coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. I thought it was one of the better things we did in the spring, really utilizing him. He can catch the ball extremely well. But we always have to be able to run the ball, so you've got to have 2-3 running backs, A-Max back with us. So that position should be pretty solid for us.
What's also going to be solid for them is the offensive line, returning 4 starters. What do they have to do? I think they have a combined 71 starts between the 4 of them. Where do they have to go to move that up a notch?
Well, I think that always bodes well for you when you have a lot of starts back in your offensive line. That's always a good thing going into the season, and we have that with a guy like Cam Clark. But what they've got to do is they've got to take their game to the next level and take care of the little things every day to become a better football player, and that's been our emphasis. They're experienced guys, so they've got to take their game to the next level with their film study and their daily grind of what they do to become a better football player and thus us a better football team.
Cam, I'll go to you since we're talking on offense right now. Who's better, you or your twin sister?
My twin. I'm gonna give it to her.
Whoa, you're just one of those guys that everybody likes, isn't it?
Man, that's my heart right there. So I gotta.
Okay.
Shout out. I don't know what camera to look at, but shout out to Alexandra Clark. That's my heart right there.
Okay, good. We just want to make sure we cleared that up. Talk about the fact how frustrating it was for you last season. Did the players get together and say, "Okay, this has got to stop, guys"?
Most definitely. It was. I think that 1-11 season last year was a blessing in disguise because you experience something and it shows you something that you never want to experience again. So now it's kind of a fight or flight mode. It's now what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? You can blame it on certain. You can blame it on penalties. You can blame it on turnovers or whatnot. But at the end of the day, players play and coaches coach. So we're the guys out there on the field, and we have to take pride in what we're doing. And with every day and with everything that we do, we have to just come out and be the best that we can do. Be the best we can be and just work hard.
Well, it seems appropriate that one of your wristbands, I can, I will.
Yes, sir.
Seems appropriate coming into this season, correct?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. That's definitely the approach that we're taking because we're going to be an underdog in a lot of situations, but I don't get that vibe from us as an underdog team. I definitely feel like we have especially with 18 starters coming back and a lot of older guys in our building, I don't feel like we're an underdog at all. I feel like we're just a team that we've always had the talent that we just never crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and that's something that we definitely have to do this year.
The tweaking of the offense, one more question, we'll get to the defensive side, but the tweaking of the offense this season, how has that changed for your blocking on the O-line?
I definitely like the change. I feel like when you're in a pro-style offense, it's more of a we're going to line up wide and try to get our guys in space. And, offensive line, you just get in the way of things. But when you're in a pro-style offense, we're going to huddle up. Now we're going to approach the ball. We're going to mic this guy. We're going to ID this guy. We're going to push it this guy. Let's not run this. Let's take our time and change it and move the play over here. So it's definitely more of a mental aspect, and I definitely feel like it prepares you. It'll make you the best offensive lineman that you can be if you take advantage of it. So I definitely feel like that's definitely something that's come in and changed, and definitely be to the offensive line's benefit.
Well, let's talk about defense because you get a new defensive coordinator. Glenn Spencer, a friend of mine from Oklahoma State, did a great job with the Cowboys. What is he bringing to this team this year?
Well, I just really like the attitude he's brought. Our guys played with a great attitude this spring. They were in the offensive face. They're real aggressive with them, and that's an emphasis that we have to get better. One thing coming out of last year, our third down, getting off the field on third down is huge for us. We didn't do well at that last year, and so this year going in, I think Glenn's brought a real good attitude to our defense, and it's a change. We're a down 4 team, basing out of that a little bit more. So, but he's just a veteran coach that's done it a long time in some great environments. So he brings great knowledge for our players and for our program. He's been good for me. He's been a head coach before. So he and Shane both have been good from that standpoint. So Glenn's done a good job coming in.
9 starters coming back, including Tyreek Harris. Tyreek, you and I were talking earlier. You made a change from linebacker to DL a couple of years ago. Now you're kind of a hybrid position. Do you like that spot?
I love it. I mean, it just gives me a lot of adversity, you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of stuff that's different. And I like the ability to be able to drop back if I want. Well, whenever he calls it, of course. But I like to be able to drop back or play the run. It's simple to me. I mean, I like to play football, and that's all I've known how to do.
What was it like at the end of last season when you guys got together as a team? I mean, without the coaches there, were you and Cam, were you guys two of the leaders that said, okay, we got to talk about this, what we're going to do in the offseason?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a captain's meeting actually with Jeff Gamble and Benny LeMay, and we all sat down together and we said, how can we change this? What are we going to do differently? And at the end, we kind of discussed, like, if we're going to be the team we want to be, everybody has to do their assignment. Everybody has to play their role, and we can't just be one guy here and there messing up, because that's what causes the big plays to happen, to the mental errors and things like that. So we just talked about, we was like, hey, if we want to be a team, we got to push each other in every aspect of the game.
Now, I don't know if you guys have any kind of slogan, Brad, coming into the season, but do the players have a slogan, or does the team have a slogan coming into the season?
Yeah, we've pushed on our team this word able. We're able to get this done, and that's just how you bring your attitude every day. You come with a great attitude. You build into a teammate. You lock in daily, and then you give great effort in everything you do. So that's kind of been our word we've used with our football team since January, one day at a time to accomplish the mission, in December that lies out there for us. So we just want to stay in the moment, stay in the day, and bring that attitude every day.
I still want to stick with defense a second, because you only had 2 interceptions last year, fewest in FBS. As a person that has a possibility of making a pick, I know there's a lot of components of interceptions. People just think it's the defensive backs, but it's the line, it's everybody. Is that something you guys have thought about this season, about we need to get more?
Turnovers, yeah. Like, we've really, really been stressing that in practice. Actually, like, we have this thing in practice where if we don't get 3 turnovers, then we have to do some extra conditioning at the end. So turnovers have been really stressing, like, our defense, and just knowing, like, to make big plays, we gotta get turnovers, and that's how we get our offense the ball, and that's how we make scores and things like that. We gotta make the turnovers.
And Glenn Coach Spencer's really emphasized that, I take it.
Oh yeah, obviously that man. He's a great coach, a great guy, great person. I mean, great man, honestly. And he's just really been focusing on football and family stuff, and turnovers have been really big in his eyes.
Well,
excuse me, can I put some pressure?
You go right ahead.
Can I put some pressure on some guys real quick? We're expecting a lot of interceptions from this year, from Quentin Jordan, Denzel Irvin, Ben DeLuca, and Eddie Rose. So we'll be expecting a lot of interceptions this year. So those guys, y'all hear me? Y'all we go ahead and get them done.
Well, we got to call out DeLuca, because DeLuca, he led the nation in one statistical category. First time a Charlotte player has ever done that. 6 forced fumbles. He was second in fumble recovery. So now you're adding to his plate. You're saying, okay, you did that, you got to do this.
And
That's right.
He gonna eat it all too.
Yeah.
Big things coming from DeLuca. Ben DeLuca this year. So he gonna get it done.
Is he going to run like for governor? In the
I
state
think
of
he
North
is.
Carolina?
I think he's doing it. I think he just started.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed. This is really, really good so far, But you got to do that. I mean, you have a season like you had last season. You got to step up and kind of take guys and say, okay, I don't have a whole lot of time here. this may be my last college football year. I got to
Yeah.
get going.
And you see why it's fun to come to work every day.
Yeah.
You know, we got a building full of these guys, and they're a lot of fun to be around. And that's why we're fortunate to get to do what we do. It's not really work for us, and we get to come and impact these guys every day. And it's just a lot of fun for us.
One final question too, because when I look at the numbers from last year, 3 losses were by a touchdown or less. You guys were this close, and it's always the little things. We always talk about dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
It is, and the year before in 16 we won those. You know, you beat Marshall on the road on the last play of the game. You beat FAU on the last play of the game. So we didn't finish those in 17, and we've got to make sure that we take care of our little things every day to put us in a position to be comfortable in the uncomfortable situation, and that's really what we're trying to do.
One other thing is, as a parting gift, we're going to give you guys a pair of shorts. You get to go outside and run sprints. It's only 100 degrees outside.
Thank you. I
You
appreciate
can
it.
bring your towel.
They need the towel.
I like it.
Yeah, we got BYOT here. You bring your own towel, okay? So you can go out and do that if you want, all right?
Yes, sir.